Listen up and pay attention. In 2026, the SUV market is throwing more than 50 different options at you. Korean, German, American, and Japanese, and every single one of them looks solid on the dealership website. Clean photos and professional studio shots, impressive specs and performance data, big promises and bold marketing. But I don't work on websites. I work under the hood. And after more than a decade in this shop, of watching what people bring into my shop, I know exactly what holds up, and what holds up just long enough to clear the warranty period. Today I'm giving you 5 Japanese SUVs that if you ask me straight to my face, I'd tell you, go buy it, don't overthink it. Not because somebody's paying me to say that, but because the numbers coming out of my shop say that. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you flat out, which one gives you the most bang for your buck. If your budget is sitting under $45,000, stick around to the very end. Look, I get it, I know what you're thinking. Every review channel out there is telling you, some SUV is the best, but here's what they're not telling you. The real truth. A lot of those guys have never touched a wrench in their life. They're reading off a press release in a parking lot. While the PR team hands them a fresh cup of coffee. I've been turning wrenches for over a decade. I've seen brand new SUVs come into my shop at 30,000 miles with transmission issues that should never happen in a car on a vehicle that young. I've seen people drop $50,000 on a new car, on something that looked incredible on paper and in the brochures, and then spend the next 4 years paying for it, bleeding money on repairs. That's not me being dramatic. That's Tuesday. It's just another day in the shop. So when I put together a list like this, it's based on facts. I'm not going off looks or how shiny the paint is. I'm not going off what the commercials say. That's all just noise. I'm going off reliability track records, real-world maintenance costs that I see every day, how easy the parts are to source, and how often I actually see these things coming in. Things come back through my bay after the sale is long over and done with. These 5 Japanese SUVs made this list because they earned it the hard way by not giving me a reason to talk bad about them. SUV number 5, 2026 Subaru Forester. I know what you're thinking. The Forester doesn't exactly scream excitement. It's not the flashiest thing in the parking lot. It's not going to make your neighbor jealous. But you know who loves the Forester? It's loved by guys just like me, because this thing just does not quit. The Forester comes standard with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive. Available on every single trim of the Forester, not as an upgrade, not as an add-on, standard. That alone puts it ahead of half the competition, before we even talk about anything else. The Boxer engine layout is something Subaru has been running for decades, and when it's maintained properly, it is one of the more durable engine designs you're going to find in this segment. The 2026 model keeps the EyeSight Driver Assist Suite as standard equipment, which is genuinely one of the better safety systems. It's one of the best systems out there right now. From where I stand in the shop, the Forester is a low-drama vehicle. Parts are not hard to find. The labor on this vehicle is extremely straightforward. I don't see these things coming back in or mystery warning lights every few months. One of the more durable engine designs you're going to find. The interior is not going to win any luxury awards, but this thing is definitely built to last, and it fits a family comfortably. If you are someone who wants to buy a vehicle and just drive it without worrying, the Forester is your answer. SUV number 4, 2026 Mazda CX5. Here's where things get interesting. The CX5 is the one on this list that will actually make you feel something, especially when you drive it. Mazda figured out a long time ago that you don't have to charge luxury prices to deliver a luxury feel, and the CX5 is probably the best example of that philosophy in the entire SUV segment. The interior quality on this thing is amazing, is genuinely impressive for the price point. We're talking soft touch materials, a clean layout, and you get a level of refinement that most people associate with luxury brands that cost $15,000 more. The Skyactiv engine lineup is efficient, it's smooth, and it doesn't ask much from you in terms of upkeep. Mazda's long-term reliability numbers are strong, and I can back that up right now. From what I see in the shop, oil consumption is low, the transmission holds up, and the overall build quality is high. Means fewer surprises down the road. The CX5 has a great resale trajectory, which matters when you want to move on. If your priority is a premium experience, without paying premium prices at all, truly this is your vehicle. Just believe me, you're not settling at all. When it's all said and done, you're being smart. SUV number 3, 2026 Honda CRV Hybrid. Honda took some heat over the previous generation CRV. Some of the early turbocharged versions had oil dilution issues that rightfully made people nervous. But Honda listened, Honda made changes, and the hybrid powertrain in this current generation is a genuinely different story. The CRV Hybrid uses a two-motor hybrid system that is smooth, responsive, and more fuel efficient in real-world driving than the window sticker numbers even suggest. We're talking low to mid-30s. In city driving, which for an SUV this size is legitimately impressive. The cargo space is one of the best in class. Honda engineers this thing practically, and it shows. The rear seats fold flat, and you end up with a genuinely usable hauling space, not just a number on a spec sheet. Honda sensing comes fully loaded on every trim. Adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking, the works. From a maintenance standpoint, the hybrid system on this generation has a solid track record. The battery pack is built conservatively, meaning Honda prioritizes long-term durability over chasing maximum efficiency numbers. 5-year operating costs on the hybrid versus a comparable gas-only SUV are noticeably lower when you factor in fuel savings and the reduced brake wear you get from regenerative braking. If you are the type of person who thinks past the sticker price and considers what ownership actually costs over time, the CRV Hybrid is a very serious contender.
SUV number 2, 2026 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. There is a reason the RAV4 Hybrid has been one of the best-selling SUVs in the country for years running. And that reason is not clever marketing. It's because this vehicle has built a reputation based on actual performance over actual time, and that reputation holds up every single year. The 2026 RAV4 Hybrid carries forward everything that made the previous generations great and doesn't break what isn't broken. The electronic on-demand all-wheel drive system that Toyota uses on the hybrid is genuinely capable. It's not a system designed just to satisfy an all-wheel drive checkbox. The front and rear motors work together in a way that gives you real traction management in conditions where a lot of competitors would struggle. Fuel economy lands around 38 miles per gallon, combined in real-world driving, and that number holds up consistently, not just in perfect test conditions. Resale value on the RAV4 Hybrid is among the strongest in the entire SUV market. These things hold their money, and from a shop perspective, I see fewer RAV4s than almost anything else. That's the highest compliment I can give a vehicle. When it does need service, the parts ecosystem is enormous. Any competent technician can work on it, and it's never going to be sitting in your driveway, waiting 2 weeks for an obscure component to ship. Buy this truck and then stop thinking about it. Buy this truck and then stop thinking about it. That's the point. Every single year.
SUV number 1, 2026 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro. All right, here we go. Let's get started. The 4Runner doesn't need an introduction, but the 2026 version gives me new reasons to talk about it and more, and I'm gonna take them. First, let's address what the 4Runner is. It's a body-on-frame legend. It's a body-on-frame SUV in a world that has almost completely moved to car-based crossover platforms. Every major manufacturer looked at the market and decided unibody construction was the future. Toyota looked at the market and made a bold choice and kept building the 4Runner the way they always have. And you know what? They were right all along. Body-on-frame means this thing can take punishment that would structurally compromise a crossover. It means off-road capability that is real, not simulated, power in action. The TRD Pro trim brings the iForce Max hybrid powertrain into the 4Runner lineup with TRD Pro Power, which gives you serious torque output for heavy loads, while maintaining Toyota's legendary long-term reliability. Multi-mode 4-wheel drive, a locking rear differential, TRD-tuned suspension, skid plates, total protection. This is not a dressed-up mall crawler. This is a truck that works, tough and reliable. I have customers who bring their 4Runners into my shop. At 200,000 miles, it's still going strong. And the question isn't whether the vehicle is worn out. It's what they want to upgrade next. That's the culture around this vehicle, built on passion. And it exists for a reason. Yes, the 4Runner TRD Pro is the most expensive vehicle on this list. You are going to pay for it. But in 15 years, when that thing is still running, and still worth serious money on the used market, guaranteed, you're going to understand exactly where that money went. So let's bring this together quickly before we close out. 5 vehicles, different price points, different strengths. 5 vehicles, different price points, different strengths. 5 vehicles, different price points, different strengths. Here's how to think about which one fits where you are. If keeping your monthly costs as low as possible, over 5 years is the priority. The CRV Hybrid is your move. If you want a vehicle that drives above its price class and impresses every time you get in, go with the CX5. If you want a vehicle that's been proven over and over again and holds its value better than almost anything in the segment, the RAV4 Hybrid is the safe bet. And safe in this case means smart, not boring. And safe in this case means smart, not boring. If you want something that can genuinely handle whatever terrain or weather you throw at it, without breaking a sweat, without even trying, the 4Runner TRD Pro is in a different category entirely. And if you just want something that works, costs you almost nothing to maintain. And it never ever gives you a headache. The Forester is underrated and it deserves more credit than it gets. Every single one of these vehicles made this list because they're built right, not because they have the best commercials. Here's what I want from you before you go. Drop a comment below and tell me 2 things. What your actual budget looks like, and which one of these 5 you're leaning toward. I read the comments, I respond when I can, and genuinely, your situation might be different from the next person's. And I'd rather you make the right call than just buy whatever sounds exciting in the moment. If this video saved you from a mistake, or even just gave you a clearer picture of what's worth your money in 2026, hit subscribe right now to see more content. It doesn't cost you anything, and I put out content on a regular basis that comes from real shop experience, not from a press junket. And one more thing, next video I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm going to name 3 SUVs that look incredible on paper right now, that I personally would never let sit in my shop as a daily driver. Some of you are going to be surprised. Stay tuned for that one.